Hey, habit thrivers. If you're ready to rock your next chapter, this is your place. It's time to live your most fit, fearless, and fabulous life. I believe that our daily habits and routines set the foundation for achieving our dream lives and help us find more passion and clarity with less doubt and uncertainty. So let's get cozy. Grab your planner and your favorite beverage and come along with me on this journey of reclaiming your passions and finding new ones along the way. Welcome to the Habit Thrive podcast, a podcast for women in their me now years. Hi, I'm Lori, your host, and each week we come together to create habits, routines, and rituals. This season is all about rituals, and we do this to regain our power and our awesomeness so that we can live our best chapters yet. In today's episode, number 144, we are full swing and full spring. Happy Spring Equinox. In this episode, we are going to be talking about how to embrace the swirling, shifting, happy energy of the spring equinox. At the same time as acknowledging that this is a crazy energy time, that right now for many of us started with the time change, then we went into the full moon, we are in eclipse season, and now we are enjoying the spring equinox. So astrologically, it's a party. But let's get real here for a moment, ladies. I was actually going to title this week's episode, Is it the moon? Is it menopause? Or is it just me? What the blankety blank is going on right now? So if you're feeling all over the place, everything from sleep disturbances to indecision, one moment you're cleaning your house like mad, the next moment you're wanting to have a nap, you're laughing in one situation, tears in the next, and here's the big one. Your mind is reviewing every decision, every circumstance, every situation that happened last week, that happened over your entire past life, and maybe in other past lives for those of you who have that going on too. There is a lot going on right now, and it's happening definitely perhaps to some of us more than others, just in terms of our energy, but it is in some way happening to most of us. Now, I say, bring it on. Especially now that I know that this is supposed to be happening right now in this celestial storm or this just crazy shifting energy. It is normal. And it is the moon. And it is perimenopause or menopause or postmenopause. And it is very Vata from an Ayurvedic perspective. So again, Vata, air, ether, that is swirling around. And so for those of us that have Vata as our higher number, this again is just wild. And in fact, it's windier. So it's windier, you have that layered onto everything else, feeling like you're, if you're like me, feeling like a candle in the wind here, back and forth. And so there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on right now. And the whole world actually is Vata. Vata is up in the world. And I have to share this with you as I was recording this episode on my Google Doc, so it transcribes what I'm saying. And it changed the word Vata to vodka. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. But I left vodka in there, so I'm looking at that right now. So it's just a very, very interesting time. So hold on to your hats, ladies. Literally, give yourself a hug. Now that you know you're not losing it, it is a wild time right now. So the importance of anchoring, super, super helpful right now with something like a spring equinox ritual or two. And truly we're renewing and we're regrouping together. But before we get into the specific rituals, just a quick description of what the spring equinox is so that we have some context. So the spring equinox is the moment when the sun crosses the celestial equator, marking the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. And it occurs around March 19th to the 21st each year. So if you're listening to this when this podcast goes live, we are just at the edge of that at March 22nd and still feeling that energy. I'll tell you, I can feel energy from something that's supposed to have stopped for a few extra days. So I would say enjoy at least this next week, and actually whenever it works for you, because even when I look outside right now and it's freezing rain and snow, there are going to be some things that I'm doing outside more often when the weather does get a little bit better. So as I'm recording this though, we have moved through since first thing this morning, moving into the spring equinox. So on this day, equal day and night, the length of day and night is nearly equal all over the world because the sun is positioned directly above the equator. Oh, that just gives me goosebumps. Increased daylight after the equinox. The days become longer, the nights shorter in the northern hemisphere as we move towards the summer solstice. So it truly is, it's a seasonal shift, and it's a bigger shift this year than any other year that I've ever felt it. It symbolizes a transition from winter to spring, bringing renewal, growth, and increased energy. Please, soon, increased energy. And lots of cultural and spiritual significance around the spring equinox. So many cultures celebrate this time as a period of rebirth, balance, a time of new beginnings, and mark it with festivals, rituals, and traditions. And again, doesn't have to be a huge thing for ourselves personally or within our families, but definitely marking it, because I think it just makes us feel better and celebrate. So it's a happy time. It is, though, at the same time, a time to anchor. And that is the way some of the spring equinox rituals are described in terms of anchoring, setting intentions to move forward. So the spring equinox is even more significant for women like us in our me now years. In this chapter of our lives, we're actually in the perfect place right now to really explore these seasonal transitions and seasonal rituals. So if you were like me, and I know some of you are still right in the thick of things right now in terms of family and sporting events, all of that stuff going on. And truly, those seasonal transitions, as I think back, they kind of slipped by me, because they were more connected to the rituals of my kids. And for some of you, again, right here, right now, still, kids and family members. So I knew it was spring when hockey ended and lacrosse started, and then late spring and moving into summer when soccer started. That was about as ritualistic as I was in those days. And that was even as a yoga and meditation teacher, I have to admit. Just kind of flying by the seat of my pants through each seasonal transition. But now, perhaps, with the kids older, for some of you, the kids out of the house, some of them have their own families, they have their own rituals. It is truly your time. It is truly our time. It's about personal renewal, self-care, stepping into the next chapter, not just the next season. This is about reclaiming our energy, embracing our wisdom, celebrating everything that we learn, that we know, and prioritizing what truly matters. So these rituals, they're not just traditions, they are tools for self-discovery, healing, transformation. Again, a lot of the things that we always have time for. I'm not going to say we didn't have time for, but it was more challenging, right? In terms of the busier days. It's kind of actually mind-blowing for me as I was preparing this episode to think about that a little bit more. That this is potentially my longest chapter. The other chapters of my life were shorter, right? If I'm talking about, growing up and then going away to school and then married and children and started a career, I actually call menopause a chapter of my life as well, perimenopause into menopause, but they were all shorter chapters in terms of amount of time. So right now at 59, there is an opportunity to have a chapter that is 40 years long. And so wherever you are in doing the calculations right now, like, isn't that kind of mind-blowing? Often when we think about, okay, we've made all of those big life decisions, we're not having to make decisions around to have kids or not have kids, or when to have kids, or how many kids to have, what to do in our career, what to do with our relationships, what to do with all kinds of different things. I mean, we've got some big decisions potentially here for sure as we move into these years, but we've got a little bit more space. And so that feeling sometimes when it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to cruise now, right? I've made all the big decisions I've done. And I want you to celebrate, actually. Like, that's huge. And I think it's important to look back sometimes and just like go, wow, right? What we've already accomplished, what we've done. That sometimes, though, has us kind of sitting here going, all right, I'm just going to go with the flow now. But when you think about the time that you potentially have now, like, the feeling that I have is I don't want to plan the bejeebers out of it, but I do want to plan it. I do want to have an agenda for my next few years, and I want to embrace them. And if I just go with the flow and let things happen, I want a little bit of that too. I don't know. It just is not speaking to me right now. And I think that's definitely why I'm all about planning, right? I'm all about future me letters. This is truly what this podcast is about as well. And so even these rituals that we're talking about today in terms of celebrating the spring equinox, right? These enrich our lives. And these help us actually plan for tomorrow, next week, next year, this chapter of our lives. But it is, again, sometimes a little overwhelming, sometimes a little scary. And that's why I like to anchor. I like to just go way out there sometimes and then just come back in with my breath, with the ground. And this is what the spring equinox is all about. It's about connecting with ourselves. It's about connecting again with nature. It's about regrouping in that sense and moving forward. So here are 3, and there are many, but I'm going to suggest 3 spring equinox rituals for us in our Me Now years. Number 1 is to release and let go. When you are even thinking about this right now and you're thinking, I'm not sure what I need to release and let go of. Or you might just have things downloading like crazy and you're like, get me a pen, get me a paper, I'm going to go here. And so if you are feeling a little bit stuck, I do encourage you to just start to write. Just ask yourself, in this stage of my life, or just even today and moving into the spring and summer, what do I want to release and let go of? And it can be anything. I actually like to do audios. I like to speak into my phone. Sometimes I like to write down. I like to do that combination of, but even asking myself the question, like as you're listening to it right now, it will keep percolating with you, at least for today. And something will pop into your mind and you'll say, yeah, no, I'm letting that go. Why am I still replaying this decision? Why am I going over this event? Why am I still trying to figure this out? Regrets and decisions and discussions. Write it down. And then, this is what I love about rituals, and then burn it. Literally burn it. And if it can be outside in a fire pit, fantastic. It's not really that time of year, although it is for some of us for sure. That's easy to do. Some of you have a wood burning fireplace. Some of you have a container that you can, again, just safely light up that paper and burn it. But I used to think, I'm just going to crumple it up and, toss it in the trash can. But burning it, when you watch it, it's truly, truly different. If you burn it and then other stuff comes up for you, you're like, I didn't burn that. Well, burn it again. It's all good. You can have a big burn pile, that is for sure. And just let it percolate. This has been, again, a process for me, and it gets easier as you do it. So your ritual, releasing and letting go. So you can start thinking about it. You can talk about it. You can write it down, burn it on that piece of paper when you're ready. So you're letting go of that old energy, the old pattern, all of that, and making space for new beginnings. Ritual number 2, intentions for the future. So when you think about from a spring perspective, you're actually planting intentions for the future. And this is what the Future Me letter is all about. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to last week's episode, and actually my Future Me letter comes to me tomorrow on Friday, March the 21st. So I'm super excited about that. But if you haven't had a chance to listen to that episode, or just even to search up what a Future Me letter is, super, super helpful in terms of planning for the rest of your day, next week, the spring, summer, your future. You can ask yourself even, what's my theme for this spring and summer? How do I want to be in the spring and summer? Are you looking for adventure, travel? Do you want more music in your life? Do you want more people? Do you want to be more social? Do you want to be less social, right? Do you want to hunker down at your cabin? You get to plan for this. And as much as we argue with ourselves about that, when we say that out loud, I get to plan my spring and summer, right? Because you're like, well, I've got my partner, I've got my kids, I've got my parents. How can I plan? But here's the thing. If you're planning and putting that out there, then other plans go around your plan. But if you're like, I can't plan because I don't know anybody else's plan, well, guess what happens to your plan? And so even if you plant your plan, and a small percentage of it happens, that's more than would have happened had you not planned. So it's easier to say yes or no or maybe if you can literally look in your planner, okay, or look at your calendar and say, I've already have something planned there. I'm already going away that weekend, right? I'm already doing this. And then, well, you have your agenda. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the other thing. As women, we do, and we're going to embrace this spring, ladies, is that we're like, no, I still should be able to do that. Okay, I'm just going to cancel my plans. I'd like you to take the energy of spring. And if this is something that is truly important to you for your future self, for your self-care, for this stage of your life, then highlight it, put it there, call it non-negotiable, and then move forward. And I know that's challenging, and it's a skill. It's a muscle that we develop as we move forward. And it doesn't make us, selfish for our time, all of that stuff that our brain comes in to. Okay, we do find a balance for ourselves, but until we start to play with this ritual of planting intentions for our future, right? Everybody else will plan it. Everyone else will plan it. So I would also suggest planting spring seeds, right? You can talk about your intentions. You're planting some seeds when you're in the grocery stores right now, and with some of the, landscapers around, they have this opportunity now to start your seeds. That's a great connection in terms of connecting to nature. And that brings us to ritual number 3, the sunrise ritual. So connecting to the sunrise in the morning, and I know that's going to become easier. It's not as easy right now because the sun again is coming up, still not working into your schedule. But when you put that intention out there, you're able to have the universe support you in getting up. It's real. I know it sounds really strange, but it's like if you are closing your eyes to go to sleep at night and you're like, I'm going to get up with the sunrise. It's astounding. Yes, you can set an alarm or trust yourself or keep the blinds open as well and explore that. So wake up early, watch the sunrise. If you can do it outside, again, we're full out ice and snow right now. But if you can go outside, practice gratitude for what you already have. This is the other point. This is what gets sometimes in the way of planning forward into our futures, is that we think, well, I should be grateful for what I'm doing right now. And I'm so blessed right now. Why am I wanting more? Why am I planning that when really I should just be grateful for this? And I know I've said it over and over again, and partly at the beginning because I think I was convincing myself, is that we can be grateful in the moment and plan for the future. We can be content in the moment and plan for the future. We actually plan for our future based on the gratitude that we have in the present moment, that all we have enjoyed to this point in our lives. And every time I say that, I'm like, oh, yes, okay, I get that. And so as you're watching the sunrise, practicing your gratitude in the present moment, if you can be outside, if you can move, if you can stretch, if you can take your arms up and draw that energy in, and then feel your feet on the ground. You're not going to be in bare feet yet, not in Northern Ontario anyways, but soon, again, you will be in bare feet, grounding yourself into the spring and the summer. And so, suggested rituals, there are definitely more, but these are 3 that I picked out for you that I enjoy doing. So ritual 1, release and let go. Okay, write down what you want to let go of, literally burn it. Ritual 2, plant intentions for the future. So if you haven't done a future me letter, if you haven't planned forward in your planner yet, even just writing a few things down on a piece of paper right now, okay, will have you planting your intentions for the future. And then ritual 3, a sunrise ritual, again, for lightness, vitality, for connecting to nature and grounding yourself. So it is a crazy time of transition right now. So let's really embrace these rituals to anchor us, to keep us grounded, to embrace this season. Let's talk about it and let's laugh about it. So, I mean, if this is what's happened again with friends, is being out and around and we're like, what the heck is going on? And that in itself makes us realize that we're all in this together, right? All impacted by this energy. And so on that note, if you know someone who is finding this a challenging time, share this podcast episode with them. Join me actually as well, if you haven't already, in our women's wellness community. That is a community of women. We come together Friday mornings live at 7 a.m. and it is recorded and stays for 30 days on the Facebook page. And we're always connecting this podcast to the meditation and the breath work Friday morning. And if you haven't had a chance to click on the link in the show notes, there is a link for you to have a sneak peek at my spring and summer Fit, Fearless, and a fabulous planner, and I will be taking orders soon for that as well. So again, everything connecting together, and I'm hoping that you feel the love and support as we all move forward into not just this next season, but into this next stage. So remember, this is your time. These are your me now years. Every small habit, every mindful choice, and every act of self-care is a step towards thriving in this chapter of your life. So together, let's take a soft, collective inhale. Give your heart a hug, a squeeze. Hear your exhale, releasing as you let love go and let love flow. Until next time, stay strong, stay vibrant, and keep thriving. If you love this episode, I guarantee you're going to love exploring all the amazing opportunities that await us in reclaiming our awesomeness together. So come on over to my Facebook group, Women's Wellness Community for women wanting to rock their me now years. Or let's connect over on Instagram at Habit Guru 365 and make the Habit Guru podcast your healthy new habit.